Let's look into a prompt use case using Copilot Chat that's included in your existing Microsoft 365 license. This one shows how you can create a draft of a lesson plan and accompanying content for any subject matter. So let me take you through how I've structured the production. We want to give Copilot a structure of the subject, so I'm asking for a synopsis in the prompt session first. This is going to give me confidence in the content that'll be generated, and I can check the references that Copilot's using. In here, I set the prompt purpose, as this will help others quickly understand what's going on. I then set the subject matter, and in this example, it's critical thinking in customer service. Giving Copilot a good grounding really does impact the quality and focus of the response, so don't be too short on the description. Next, I set the language level and finally define my expectations on the output. Now, in my experience, defining the terms at the beginning really helps with the flow further on in the session. Now that the synopsis is done, we can use the initial response to generate the lesson plan. We can use the definitions we processed in the first prompt, so all we're doing here is setting the length of the lesson, so for example, 1.5 hours. And then define the lesson plan based on the synopsis, including the timings, discussion questions to engage the class, and the topics that will be added. So the way the prompts are structured in the session, the only part that needs to be added here is the session length. Finally, let's test the class's understanding of the topic by creating a quiz. As most of the work is done in the previous prompts, all we need to do here is set the number of questions and the difficulty level. Now, I've asked for multiple choice questions to be generated, but I'm sure that you can be much more adventurous. Now, let's run the prompts. So remember, we're running Copilot Chat here, which is included with your existing Microsoft 365 license. Let's put in our first prompt where we set up the synopsis. This is going to give Copilot the structure needed to create the lesson plan. Now, I like the way it's given the overview, the key focus topics and the benefits, as well as the references for me to check. Now, throughout this demo, I'm going to be pressing the Edit in Pages button. This will open up a second pane on the right-hand side where a new page is created, similar to a loop component. Let's continue on to the lesson plan. Same as last time, I paste the prompt in, and the only part that I've edited is the session length of 1.5 hours. All the other instructions have been set up in the synopsis prompt in the same session. Now, I found stepping into my complete request gives me better results instead of just one large prompt with many requests. So what I like about this response is the way Copilot has given me a lesson plan breakdown of objectives, activities, and questions, as well as the allotted time. As before, I press the Edit in Pages button, but instead of creating a new page, it's appending to the bottom of the synopsis. That's really going to help with our lesson plan flow. How about a little extra prompt for the lesson plan? Remember, we can go much deeper into any of the sections we produced. In this example, I'm asking what the trainer should show and discuss during the problem analysis section. Now, at the end, notice the questions to engage the group. I didn't ask for this, but based on the lesson plan's prompts, the request for the questions is extended here as well. Nice. Okay, now I can create the quiz. As we're in the same Copilot session, the only parts we need to edit here are the number of questions and the difficulty level. This is multiple choice based on just one answer, but I could ask it to create 2 or more for the full answer. Just like games, we can create different versions of the questions depending on the difficulty level selected by the student. There are so many directions we can take this. So in the prompt, when putting the answer sheet together, I'm asking not just for the answer, but why. I need to check this out to confirm it's correct. Finally, let's add this to the same Copilot page we've created. Now we're ready to share the page draft with our colleagues for further work and start to focus on what will make this an engaging lesson for our audience.